fireman self-defense techniques. The first technique is called delayed sword. I hope at this point you have a very good understanding of your basic fundamentals. So it's going to make your techniques, to learn the techniques and to do the techniques a lot easier. Now, this first technique, delayed sword, I'm going to do it slow a couple of times. The attack is for a right hand lapel grab. So somebody grabbing you with the right hand. Now, the first move, we're going to step back with the left leg into a right neutral bow, as our left hand is going to be a positional check covering our center line, and we're going to do a right inward block catching inside his arm. Now, from here, we're going to throw a front kick to the groin with the front leg without doing a drag up, because the opponent is close enough that we don't need to do the drag up. Front kick. Now, as we throw the front kick, striking to the groin, we're going to plant forward and do a right outward hand sword to the right side of his neck. Okay. Now let's go over this one more time. Delayed sword. We're going to step back, right neutral bow, right front kick to the groin or lower stomach, midsection, and as soon as we plant, we're doing a right outward hand sword side of the neck. I'm going to take this from a different angle. I'm going to step back, block, kick, and chop. One more time, dropping back, block into a right neutral bow, kick, and chop. Now, one thing I want you to concentrate on, even though that we're not doing any strikes with the left hand, I want you to get used to the idea of keeping both hands up. Okay, there's not going to be any technique that we're going to be keeping the hand, one hand hanging on the side or pulled to the side this way. It's just like you're in a fighting stance. But now from this position, if one hand is doing the block, the other hand still staying up. And another reason is when you get used to the idea of having both hands up later on, we're going to get into the more advanced techniques, and you're going to see how the hand that you're just using it as a check is going to strike for you, and you're going to use it in different manners. Okay. Now I'm going to go over this technique. Master, come up, please. Okay, let's take it from this side. Okay, now the ideal phase of this technique is for lapel grab. Now we're going to step back, clear the arm out of the way, go to the kick, to the groin or to the midsection, and plant, and at the same time we're going to do an outward hand sword side of the neck. Okay, now remember that this is just the ideal phase of the technique that's designed for a grab. If he was to push me, we could use the same technique. Okay. If he was to throw a punch at me, we could use the same technique. Also, if he was just standing there, and we could still apply the same technique. Now, when we drop back, since he's not attacking, pushing, punching, grabbing, what we're going to do, we're going to step back and we block. And instead of blocking the arm, we're going to strike to his face, catch bridge of the nose or the jaw. And then we're going to go to our front kick again and do the hand sword. Okay, so we have the ideal physics technique, and then we could apply it for different type of attacks also. Just want to show you this from a different angle also. He makes the grab, we drop back at the same time. Remember, when I say step back or drop, it's more of a sink. Your height is going to drop low, even though you're stepping back, but it's more that you're sinking back and low. So one more time. He grabs, we drop back, get into a good, strong stance. You have to be in a good, strong stance. And the reason is, let's say I deal with this hand and block it, and what if he was coming with a left powerful punch from here? I got to be in a strong stance in order to deal with that punch. Now, if he grabs me and I'm kind of up in the air blocking this, if that punch comes, I'm going to lose my balance. So you guys got to make sure your stance is very strong. We're going to take it one more time from here. Drop back, block, kick, and outward hand sword. Now we're going to do this a little bit faster. One more time. We're going to take it from a different angle. Okay, one more time. And do a cross out. Thank you, Master. Now we're going to work on technique number 2. It's called alternating maces. The reason we have this name for it is because you're using the right hand, and then we're going to the left hand, and then back to the right hand. So your fist, which is called the mace in this particular technique, we're alternating from right to left and back to the right. Now, the attack for this technique is for a two-hand push. Someone coming at you with a two-hand push to the upper body. Now we're going to step back and go to the right neutral bow as we do our right inward block. Now right from here, from the neutral bow, we're going to drop the forearm and we do a check here. As we drop the check from a neutral bow, right neutral bow, we're going to drop into a right forward bow and we strike with a vertical punch. It's a left vertical punch that's going to hit him across the chest. So again, one more time from here, we're going to drop back with the left leg into a right neutral bow as we do a right inward block. Drop the forearm to check on top of his arm. Then we're going to drop into a right forward bow, hitting with the left vertical punch. Now from here, we're going to rotate back into our neutral bow, right neutral bow, as we come up and we shoot a right outward back knuckle to the side of the face. Okay, we're going to take this one more time. Drop back, block, check. Vertical reverse punch, forward bow, back to neutral bow, and back knuckle side of the face. Now I'm going to show you this from a different angle. We have the two-hand push coming. We're dropping back, doing the block, drop the check as we drop into a forward bow, vertical punch to the chest, come back to the neutral, back knuckle. One more time. Drop back. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Master, come up, please. Okay, now this is for a two-hand push. Now, one thing I want you guys to remember is you're not going to see anybody that's going to push you this way and just strike with the arms. 9 out of 10 times, the push that's going to come at you, they're following with their body weight, with the body mass coming behind it. So they're not going to be sleepwalking this way. They're going to push you, and they're thinking about coming through. Okay. Now, when he throws the push, when he comes at me with the push, and I shoot the block, do not block on top of the arm, because it's going to bring his head in, and he might catch you on the bridge of the nose. Okay. So you don't want to invite him in. You want to redirect him. Maybe you haven't stopped his body momentum from coming in, but at least you're taking it in a different angle and pushing him off. Now, at the same time that we drop back, right as soon as we do the block, that's when we drop the check to open up the next target. And now with this vertical punch dropping into a forward bow, now we want to stop the body mass from coming in, going to a forward bow. Now, from here, we're going to sink back to our neutral bow as we back knuckle side of the face. Okay, now we're going to take this from a different angle. On the other side. He's coming with a two-hand push, drop back, redirect him, check, stop him from coming in, and neutral bow with the right back knuckle. One more time. We're going 1, check, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to speed up this a little bit. Start from the other side. And you could add the cross out at the end. Yeah! Yeah! We're going to work on technique number 3. This is called sword of destruction. Now, this technique, the attack is a left hooking punch coming at you. We're going to start from an attention stance. We're stepping back with the left leg into a right neutral bow as a right hand comes out, and you're doing a right extended outward block. And your left hand, again, in a positional check covering your center line. So one more time, we're going to step back with the left leg into a neutral bow, doing the block, right extended outward. Now, from here, we're going to use the front leg, throwing a right front kick to the groin or to the lower stomach, to the midsection. We pretty much want to stop his body momentum again from coming in. So we drop back and do the block. Now, from here, we're doing a right front kick, plant forward. As soon as we plant forward, our right hand is in a position for a right inward hand sword, catching him left side of the neck. So we're going to catch the left side of the opponent's neck with the right inward hand sword coming in. We're going to take it from top, stepping back into a right neutral bow, right extended outward, front kick, and a right inward hand sword. Now we're going to go over this from a different angle. From a tension stance, we're dropping back, doing the right extended outward, checking with the left hand, front kick, catching the groin or midsection, and we plant forward, and we do a right inward hand sword, side of the neck. Okay, now we're going to go over this. Master, come up, please. Okay. Here comes the left hooking punch. Step back, doing a right extended outward, keeping this hand as a check. Now we're going to throw a front kick to the midsection, groin or lower stomach. We plant forward and do an inward hand sword. Okay. Now remember, the way we're doing this technique, when we do our, let's say, first move, it's going to set us up for the second move, and then the second move is going to set us up for the third move. Pretty much all your self-defense techniques, that's how they're designed. Now, one more time. He throws the punch. We're going to step back, block, front kick, plant, and inward hand sword. Okay, we're going to take it from a different angle. Now, it comes with a punch. Step back, block, kick. See, when I kick to the midsection, it brings the upper body forward. It's going to set him up for the inward hand sword. And try it again. Go 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now we're going to speed up a little bit. Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Okay, we're going to take it from a different angle. Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. And you do a cross out after that, moving away. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! This is technique number 4, deflecting hammer. Now, this technique is designed for a right kick coming at you, right front kick attacking you from 12 o'clock. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to use a foot maneuver. We're going to do a step drag going to the side or a push drag. So if we're pushing off the right leg, going to the side, going towards 8 o'clock. Now, we don't want to go back towards 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the regular fighting stance that we usually are. And the reason is we like to get it away from that line of attack, from the kick that's coming from 12 o'clock. So instead of going to 7 o'clock, we want to go to 8:30 here to the side. We're going to push off the front leg, push off the right leg, go to the side. As we do a right downward block, blocking the kick. Now, our left hand is going to be positioning up here to check in front of our face. Now, from here, as we push off the right leg, going to the side, now we want to cover that distance and go back into our opponent. Now we're going to push off the back leg, push off the left leg, and go in. Now, from this position, when we push off the back leg and move forward from a right neutral bow that we're in, facing like 2 o'clock, as I push off, I go to a right forward bow. To be able to strike with my backhand, we're doing a heel palm strike. And then from this forward bow, I'm going to go back to my neutral bow, right neutral bow, and come up with the elbow strike. This is a right inward horizontal elbow coming up to the face. Okay, I'm going to take this from top, go to the side, downward block, move in, strike, and right away come up with the elbow strike to the face. I'm going to take it from a different angle now. Again, I'm going to step off, block here, move in, strike, and then come up with the elbow strike to the face. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Master, come up, please. Okay. Now, when he shoots the right kick, as I step off, you got to make sure your left hand is up. Because if you're checking low, you block and he shoots the back knuckle, you're going to get hit. So what you want to do is, when he blocks the kick, you want to have this hand up here. In case he shoots the back knuckle, you got something checking here. Now, as we push back to go out of the way, and we're here now, I'm going to push off the back leg, I'm going to move forward. And when I move forward, I'm going to move right back of his knee to check that leg, check the front leg. And at the same time that I move back in, I'm going to be striking with my left heel palm. Now, I could be catching a rib, I could be catching a kidney, or I could be catching his arm. That's what I like to do, is catch his arm, to pin that arm and push it through his ribs. Okay, so don't think that just because you're striking the arm, you're not creating any damage or pain. We're going to strike and push that arm through the ribs. So we're going to take it one more time. Go to the side. Move in. Strike. Now, we're in a forward bow because we need to make that body rotation. Then we're going to come up with the elbow to the face. Okay, we're going to take it from a different angle. Okay. Now, it comes with the right kick. We'll step off, block, move in, strike, and come up with the elbow. One more time. Kicks, go to the side, block it, move in, and come up with the elbow strike. Now we're going to take this a little bit faster. Yeah. One time. Yeah. Okay. From a different angle. Yeah. Okay, one more time. Yeah. Next technique we're going to work on is capture twigs. The attack on this technique is for a bear hug from behind with your arms pinned. Now, from this position, you like to make sure when you got a bear hug from behind and your arms are pinned, when you step to the side, you're actually sinking to the side and you're dropping your weight down. You've got to make sure that your opponent is going to feel your body weight dropping. And it doesn't matter how much you weigh. You want to drop to the side. As you drop to the side, you like your left hand to come up from underneath and go on top of his hands and check him. Now, at the same time, we sink to the side, we check the hands, we're going to drop the right hammer fist to the groin. Now, this is going to make him lean forward, start to lean forward, and loosen up on the grab a little bit. So again, bear hug from behind, arms pinned. We're going to check his hands, sink to the side, hammer fist to the groin. Now, the next move that we're going to do, I'm facing 12 o'clock. I'm going to pull my right leg into a cat stance. This is going to be a right 90-degree cat stance facing 3 o'clock. Now, at the same time that I drop into this cat stance, pull this leg into a cat, I'm going to let my upper body, let my shoulder, like a door, open into his body. Okay, so we're going to drop back. One, as he starts to lean forward from the hammer fist strike to the groin, I'm going to turn the shoulder right into his upper body and push him off of me. Now, from this position, I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to stump his foot. Now, which one, it doesn't matter, whichever is closest to you. Most probably it's going to be his left. You're going to stump on top of his foot, and then right from there, as you make an adjustment to sink into your stance, you're going to do a right obscure elbow coming up to his face. Okay? So we're going to take this in 4 steps. We're going to drop to the side, check, hammer fist. 1, pull to cat, facing 3 o'clock. 2, we're going to stump. 3, and we're going to go into him and hit him with the elbow strike. 4. Okay? Let's take this from a different angle. From here, we're going to sink to the side. 1, we're going to turn our shoulder into him. 2, we're going to stump and hit with the elbow. 3. And one more time from this angle. Sink to the side. 1, turn. 2, stump. 3, sink. 4. Okay? Master, come up, please. Okay. Now, put a bear hug from behind. Okay. We're going to check the hands. As we check the hands, we're going to sink to the side and hammer fist to the groin. Okay. Now, the next step, we said we're going to turn the shoulder into him as we pull to cat, just to push him off. Now, we're going to stump his foot, and then we're going to sink and do an obscure elbow to his face. All right. Now, one thing that I like to show from the side angle, if you could get it from here, you have to make sure that when you pull to cat, you're not going to turn away from your opponent. Okay? The shoulder has got to turn into him to push him off of you. So we're going to take this angle one more time. Check the hands, sink to the side, hammer fist to the groin. Turn the shoulder into him, stump, and elbow. Okay? Now we're going to take it from a different angle. Get behind me, put a bear hug. We're going to sink to the side, hit. 1, turn the shoulder. 2, stump and elbow. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Now we're going to speed up a little bit. Behind me. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Okay, one more time. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Okay, take it from a different angle. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Yeah, try it again. Yes, sir! Sir! Yes, sir! Yes, sir! next technique is called grasp of death. Now, this, the attack is somebody jumping on you from behind, and they kind of like could be running and jumping and put you in a headlock, so they end up in front of you, holding your head this way, putting you in a headlock. Now, the first thing that we're going to do in this technique, we're going to step with the right leg. Now, the jump that comes from behind, we need to step with the right leg to get our balance. But at the same time that we step with the right leg forward, we're going to go into a right closed kneel. So at the same time that we step with the right leg, we're going to be striking with our left knee back or to the side of his right knee. So we're going to sink into a closed kneel, right closed kneel, and we're going to strike back of his knee to check his height zone. Now, he's going to have an arm around your neck that you like to grab it with your right hand, grab his wrist, pull the wrist down so you could tuck your chin down and take the pressure off the throat. Now, your left hand is going to be pinching inside his thigh. So the reaction that it's going to create is when he's got a headlock on you and you pinch him, he's going to do this. He's going to raise up a little bit. So from here, as you step into a closed kneel, strike back of his knee, control the wrist around your neck, you're going to pinch inside the thigh. Now, as soon as he raises up, you're going to bring the arm over your head, and you're going to do a left step through into a left neutral bow. As you control his wrist with your right hand, you're going to apply the pressure with your left inward block to the back of his right elbow. And you're going to bring him over and around and control him in front of you. Now, from this position, you're going to check his arm. After you've got him controlled, you got him checked, you're going to drop into your left forward bow, and you're going to throw a right reverse punch. It could be a right vertical or a straight punch, back of his ear to the mastoid, or going to the side of his face. Okay. We're going to take this from top one more time. Stepping with the right leg, close kneel, control the wrist, pinch inside the thigh, bring the arm over your head, step forward. Check him and strike back of his elbow. Control him. Check his arm, drop into your forward bow, and strike side of the face. We're going to take this from a different angle. From here, we're going to step, control, pinch, bring the arm over the head, and strike. One more time. Step, check, grab the wrist, pinch inside the thigh, bring the arm over your head, step through, strike back of his elbow, bring him down, and check, reverse punch. Okay, now so come up. Good. Now, let's say he jumps on me from behind, put the headlock. Now, as I step with my right, I'm going to check and attack with my left knee. Okay, now, this strike, attacking back of the knee, it could be either back of the knee or it could be side of the knee. It doesn't matter. Now, when you check his height zone and you're putting pressure on the knee, okay, it's going to take the pressure off of the choke that he's putting on you. And remember, we don't want him to get into a comfortable position and really put a hard choke on you. As soon as we feel him jumping and coming around us, we're going to drop into that closed knee and attack his knee. So he jumps, put us in a headlock. We're going to step, strike that, control the wrist here, and we're going to pinch inside the thigh. Now, we're going to bring the arm over the head as we step forward, and as we start to step forward, we're going to use our left inward block, striking back of his elbow. And we're going to bring him over and around, so it gives us a proper body alignment for this reverse punch. Remember, if you have to check him all the way down to even make him down on his face, that's okay. The idea is to control him before you let go for any strike. Okay, we're going to take it from this angle one more time. You're going to come up, step, strike, check, pinch, bring the arm over, bring him around, and strike back of the head. Okay, now we're going to take it from a different angle. Put us in a headlock, check, pinch, bring the arm over, and step forward, control, and hit. Okay, now this pinch, if you could get a close-up here, see, put your leg out this way. See, what you're doing is catching this way. Okay, catching inside the thigh this way. Okay, now we're going to do it from this angle one more time. Okay, going to jump, control, bring him around, and punch. Okay, now we're going to do this technique and speed up a little bit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, take it from a different angle. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, try it again. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. And cross out. We're going to go over checking the storm. This technique is designed for an overhead club attack. The attack is coming from 12 o'clock, and it's a right overhead club attack. Now, the first foot maneuver that we're going to do is going to be a step drag. I'm going to take my right leg, step towards 4 o'clock. Again, we want to get out of that line of attack so we're not dropping straight back pretty much or towards 5 o'clock. Okay, we want to go a little bit more to the side and step with the right leg towards 4 o'clock as we drag our left leg into a cat stance. Now I'm going to go to a cat stance. This is a left cat stance, and I'm going to be pointing my knee towards my next target where I'm going to be kicking. So now, from 12 o'clock, as I step to 4 o'clock with the right, drag the left into cat stance. Now I'm facing 10 o'clock. My left hand is going to do an extended outward. Now this extended outward is going to be done open hand. And we're going to strike with the outside part of the hand, extended outward, and we're going to catch inside of his right wrist, the hand that's attacking us. And the left hand, again, is going to be checking at this point. Now from here, we're going to do a left front kick to the groin, which is going towards 10 o'clock, left front kick. As we plant, we're going to plant and pivot at the same time and throw a right side kick or a right knife edge inside his right knee. So we're going to drop to the side, block, front kick, kick, inside the right knee. As we plant forward, we're going to do a right outward back knuckle to his face. Okay, we're going to take this from top one more time, drop to the side, do the block, front kick, side kick, and back knuckle. Let's do this from a different angle. We're stepping off to the side, blocking, we do the front kick, we do the side kick, and back knuckle. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, Master, come up, please. Right leg back, fighting stance. Now, he's coming from 12 o'clock. We're going to step off to 4 as cat, and we catch inside his wrist. Okay, we're going to strike inside the wrist as we pull to cat. Now, from here, we're going to be striking to the groin or to the midsection with the front kick, left front kick. As I plant, I'm going to strike inside his knee with the right side kick. And then I'm going to do a back knuckle. Okay, one more time. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, let's take this from a different angle. So it's coming in, we're going off 1, kick 2, side kick 3, back knuckle 4. Okay, one more time. Going 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now let's take this technique a little bit faster. Before we do that, I'd like to show you something. The way, after we do the front kick and we do the side kick, the way this hand is positioned, we could, if it's crossed in front of the body, then we use the back knuckle. Okay? If it's to the right side of the body, after we shoot the kick, then we could come up and do a lifting back knuckle. And as you can see, this lifting back knuckle could curve up a little bit. Okay? We're going to come up to the target. The reason is that his height zone is changing because we're kicking the knee. We're taking him out that way. As you see how his head is going to come down. So we're going to come up to it with that lifting back knuckle. Okay? Now we're going to take this technique and do it a little bit faster. Yeah, okay, we're going to take it from this angle. And cross out. We're going to go over mace of aggression. This technique is designed for someone grabbing you with two hands and they're pulling you in. So they're actually grabbing and pulling you into them. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to use that force. It's called a borrowed force. If they're pulling you, you don't want to fight and try and move away from them. So they're pulling you, you want to use that and let your left hand, all the way through this technique, your left hand is just going to be doing the checking for you. You want to check on top and keep your elbow down and pin the hands, both his hands. Now, as they pull you in, you're going to step with your right leg into a right neutral bow, and you're going to do a vertical punch. Now, this could be a right vertical punch, or it could be a right chopping punch to the face. All right? Now, we're going to step in, shoot the right punch. Now, from here, as you punch to the face and you push his head back, at the same time, you're going to straighten up his arm. Now, you want to use your forearm and drop it on top of his arm and check him down low. That's going to bring his upper body and his head back into you. Now, as soon as you do this, you're going to turn your right elbow in, and you're going to do an inward elbow, catching him the left side of his face. Right inward elbow. Now, right from here, you're going to do a right outward elbow. Well, we're not going out back this way. We're going to go outward towards him, towards 12 o'clock, and do an outward elbow to his face. Okay? If we need a little bit of a shuffle at the end, then we could use that. So we're going to go in 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? I'm going to take it from a different angle. From here, we're going to move in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one more time, we're going to pin, step in, hit 1, drop the forearm, 2, 3, elbow, side of the face, and outward elbow to the face. And we're done with this technique. Okay, Master, come up, please. Okay. This is for a two-hand grab, pulling in. So as he pulls me in, I'm going to check, step through his legs, and I'm going to strike right on top. Now, drop the forearm down, bring him in. Right away, slide that elbow in, and go to an outward elbow. And one more time. Pulls, we go in with it. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, we're going to take this from a different angle. Pulling in. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And one more time. Now, when he's grabbing, grab me from up here. When you check with your left, you want to make sure that elbow is down. You don't want to do this. You want to drop the elbow. Now, when he pulls, we check, and we strike on top. 1, 2, and 3 with the elbow, and 4 going out. Okay, now we're going to do this technique. We're going to speed up a little bit. going to take it from a different angle. Make sure you're sinking right through. And one more time. And cross out. So we're going to go over the next technique. It's called attacking maze. This is for a step through right punch coming at you. Now we're going to step back with the right leg into a left neutral bow, and we're going to do a left inward block, catching him outside of his right punch. Now, after we do the block, we're going to check his punch, and we're going to drop into a left forward bow, and we're going to shoot a right reverse punch, right horizontal reverse punch. We're going to catch him to the ribs, or we could catch him right above the hip bone. There's a soft spot right between the ribs and the hip. Okay. So we're going to drop back, block the punch, check it as we hit him to the side, to the ribs. Now it's going to make him lean forward, fold over a little bit, and push him back. Now we're going to go around with the right hand like an extended outward with an open hand and check outside of the same right punch that we blocked. Now from here, we're going to come with the back leg, keeping the same height. We're going to right roundhouse kick him to the midsection, either to the groin or to the stomach. And we're going to plant forward. As we plant forward, we're going to check his right leg, and we're going to drop into a right forward bow, shooting a left reverse punch either to the kidney or to the ribs. Again, we're going to take it from top. So we're going to drop back, block the punch, check it, reverse punch to the ribs, go around, check the arm, roundhouse kick, plant forward, and reverse punch. And one more time. Drop back. 1, 2, check 3, kick, and 4. Now I'm going to take it from a different angle. I'm going to drop back here, block, check, punch, check, kick, and check with the front leg as we reverse punch. And one more time. Go 1, check 2, check 3, check with the front leg, and 4. Okay, Master, come up, please. Okay, put your right leg back. Now he's coming with a straight punch. We're going to drop back, block the punch. As we check, we're going to hit him to the ribs and come around and check the arm and round his kick. And we'll plant forward. When we plant forward, we could be checking that knee. And then we're going to reverse punch to the ribs or kidney. Okay, one more time. We're going to come in and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's take this from a different angle. Okay, come in. We're going to drop back, block, and punch. Check the arm, kick, and reverse punch. And one more time. Drop back, block, punch, check, kick, and a reverse punch. One thing I like to do here, sometimes you're doing the block after you block this punch and reverse punch him. Okay? Do not come up and block with your elbow up, because this might slip underneath his arm. What you want to do, it's exactly what you're doing is an extended outward. So when we go here, okay, then we're going to use the extended outward. Keep that elbow down. So we're using this whole thing, and we're hooking on top of his arm as we kick and follow through with the punch. Okay, now we're going to take this technique just a bit faster. Other side. And one more time. And you cross out. We're going to go over sword and hammer. This is the last technique on our self-defense yellow belt techniques requirement. Okay, now this is for somebody grabbing your shoulder from behind, grabbing your right shoulder with the left hand. Now, they'll be grabbing the shoulder. When somebody grabs you with one hand, you actually got to be worried about the other hand that's free. So now, if they're grabbing your shoulder, they might be thinking about grabbing and controlling you to grab and punch you, grab, turn you and punch you. So you're going to have to react to it quick. Now, once you feel the grab, a couple of things that you're going to do at the same time. One is you're going to pin the hand that's grabbing you so he won't be able to jab with it. He won't be able to hit you with the same hand he's grabbing. And you're going to turn your head so from the corner of your eye you can pretty much see where your opponent is standing. Now, with that, your guide is going to be your right leg stepping into him. Because wherever that leg steps, okay, it's going to guide your next strike, which is the sword. We're going to do a right outward, upward type of a strike, sword hand to the throat. So from here, we're going to sink, pin, and do an outward hand sword to the throat. Right from there, we're going to come down with the same right hand. We're going to hammer fist to the groin. And that's what the name of this technique is, sword and hammer. Okay? I'm going to do this from a different angle also. As I step up, sword, and do a hammer to the groin. And one more time, pin, step, sword, and hammer. Okay, Master, come up, please. Okay, stand behind me. We'll take it from this direction. Okay, now, when you pin, the reason we're striking with the sword first, okay, now, this is what I'm going to show you, is if I was to grab him and punch him, when he pins my hand, I go ahead and grab. If he comes to punch me with the right hand, see, your sword that was supposed to go to his throat could be checking his punch. Okay, that's why we're going on top first, and then we're going to take the next strike down low to the midsection of groin. Okay, so now, another thing that I want you to do, when we strike from point of origin, if your weapon is on your side this way, we're not going to come up and out. We're just going to ride his body and go straight up. And you got to make sure that you're not going to step and then start your strike. Okay, as we start to sink into him, that's when we're going to pin his hand and strike up to the throat, and then we're going to go down to the groin, okay? And we'll take it from a different angle. We're going to pin, sword, and hammer to the groin. Okay, one more time. We're going to sword and hammer, okay? Now, let's take this technique just a bit faster. Okay, we're going to take it from this angle. And you cross up. We're going to go over our first form. This one is called short form 1. It's going to be done on both sides, right and left. And it's the requirement for yellow belt. Now, we're going to start from attention stance. Every time we do a form, at the beginning and at the end of it, we're going to do a salutation. And even before the salutation, we're going to indicate our form. In this case, when we're doing short form 1, we indicate short form 1 in this manner. Here's your right hand facing your instructor or the judges if you're competing with it. And this indicates short form 1, the right side. Since you're showing it on the right side of your body, this would be short form 1. Now, we have 3 short forms in this system, and if you bring in the 2 fingers this way and bend it, this is going to be for short form 2, and so on for short form 3. Now, if you're indicating on the left side, then this would be short form 1 for the left side, short form 2, and short form 3. Now, we're going to start short form 1 right side and left side, since we're doing both sides of the form. Now, right from here, we're going to go to salutation. That's when your left hand is covering your right fist. And if you're looking in the mirror yourself, you should not be able to see your right fist in the mirror. Your left hand should be covering it. And they're separate. They're not together at this point. They're separate, and your elbows are kind of down in a 45-degree angle this way. And you're looking straight. And you're stepping out with your right leg into a right front twist stance as you lift the left heel up and you rest your knee on your calf. So again, from your attention stance, step out with the right leg into a right front twist, left hand covering your right fist. Now we're going to bring them out together. As they come out together, your left hand is going to be covering your right fist, and your left leg is going to come out in a cat stance. Now we're in a left 45-degree cat stance. Left hand over right fist. Now from this position, as we look straight, we're going to step back with our left leg, and our hand's going to go straight and back to back. Again, one more time. From a cat stance, we're going to step back with the left, let the hands go up, back to back. Now from here, we're going to pull the hands back together as we pull the right leg back. So one more time, we're going to pull the hands over inside. As we pull them together, the right leg comes back, and now we're in a attention stance. As we open to the side with the left leg going to the horse stance, the hand's going to go up and around. Now remember, you don't want to reach way up there. This is you're staying within inside your zone. This is like as far as like your upward block is going to go. As we open to the side with the left leg, we're going to come up. We're going to make a triangle here. And the 3 corners of this triangle is going to be body, mind, spirit as we look up to it. Now from this point, you're going to drop into your left over right. Bring your arms down as you look straight. Then you go into a praying position with your hands come together this way, palms touching, and you're looking down. Now, if it's at the beginning of the form, from this position, we go to a left or right into a meditating horse stance to start our form. If it's at the end of our form, from this praying position, we're going to close to an attention stance and finish our form with a bow. Okay? So now let's go over this salutation one more time. Your footwork would be right leg out in a twist stance, left leg out into a cat stance. Left leg back, right leg back, 2 feet together, left leg open to the side, and close. Now we're going to put the hands with it. Right leg out, left hand over right. Step out to a cat stance, left hand over right. Now they're touching. Step back with the left, hands back to back. Bring the right leg back. Pull the hands, pull the fists to the side. Open as you look up. You open with your left leg into your horse stance, and you make a triangle. You look up, then you look straight as you go left hand over right, and you look down as you pray. Now, if you look at this from the side angle, as my hands open up and away from the body, then as I go to a left or right, As they drop low, they also get closer to my body. And as they drop lower, they even get closer for praying position right here. And then we close out. Now we're going to start working on short form 1. First of all, understand that your forms are designed for you to work in different directions, and you're dealing with more than one person. It's for mass attacks. Now, we already know our clock principle, that we work in 8 different directions. Right now, we're just going to work four of those 8 directions, and these are going to be our 90-degree angles. We're going to work to 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9, and 3. Now, we're going to go to our horse stance. We're in a meditating horse, and we're going to start this form, facing 12 o'clock. We're going to do the right side, meaning our first block is going to be with the right hand. As our left leg steps back to a right neutral bow, we're going to do a right inward block, and at the same time the left leg steps back, we're pulling the left hand to the side, like you're doing a back elbow at the same time. We're facing 12 o'clock. Now, from this position, we're going to step through reverse with our right leg, going into a left neutral bow, facing 12 o'clock, as we do a left inward block and our right hand pulls to the side. Okay, I'm going to take this from top. From a meditating horse, step back with the left, right inward block, drop back with the right, left inward block. Remember, you want to put the same amount of power and speed on both hands. If you shoot in the block nice and strong, your right hand got to be pulling to the side with the same amount of speed and power. Now, from here, we've got a punch that's coming from 9 o'clock. So I'm going to take my right leg, step out and away from the opponent. As I step with my right leg up, I'm going to do a right inward block and a left vertical outward block. Now again, watch this step one more time. As I step with my right leg up to face 9 o'clock, I'm going to be in the left neutral bow facing 9 o'clock. But for this right inward block, from belt up, it's going to be a forward bow. I need to square off my shoulder to reach with that inward block. Then I'm going to be into a full neutral bow, left neutral bow, as I shoot the left vertical outward. Now, facing 9 o'clock, I'm going to step through reverse, left step through reverse, and do a right vertical outward. Now, from this position, I'm going to cover. The way I'm going to cover, we take the front leg, step over, facing 9 o'clock. As I cover, facing 3 o'clock, I'm going to do a left upward block. Left upward block. Now, from this position, facing 3 o'clock, we're going to drop back. We're doing a left step through reverse, stepping back away from 3 o'clock towards 9 o'clock, and I'm going to do a right upward block. Now, from here, I'm going to take the back leg, step out and away from 6 o'clock. Let's say we've got an attacker coming from 6 o'clock to throw a kick at us. From this upward block, as I step with my back leg away from the kick, I'm going to do a right downward block, blocking the kick, and I'm in a right fighting stance facing 6 o'clock. And I'm going to step back, step through reverse, do a left downward block facing 6 o'clock. Now I'm going to take my front leg, step around into a meditating horse, end up in the first stance, which was facing 12 o'clock in a meditating horse stance. Okay, now that we've done the right side of this form, right when we end up the right side, we're going to go right into the left side. It's the same exact thing. We're just going to start with the left hand doing the first block and the right leg doing the first step back. Now we're going to the left side. As we step with our right leg back into a left neutral boat, we're going to do a left inward block, pull the right hand to the side. Now we're going to do a left step through reverse to a right neutral boat as we do a right inward block facing 12 o'clock. Now, this time we're moving away from a punch that's coming from 3 o'clock. So as my left leg step up and away from the punch, I'm going to do a left inward block. Now remember, again, we're keeping the neutral bow, but the upper body rotates a little bit more like we're going to a forward bow to reach with that left inward block as we follow with the right vertical outward, facing 3 o'clock. Now, from here, I'm going to step back, right step through reverse. We're still facing 3 o'clock, and I'm going to do a left vertical outward block at this point, coming around. Now, from here, I'm going to cover with my front leg. I'm going to step over as I turn around to face 9 o'clock, and I'm going to do a right upward block. And from this position, I'm going to do a right step through reverse, do a left upward block facing 9 o'clock. Now, again, we got a kick attack coming from 6 o'clock. So I'm going to take my right leg and cover and step out away from the kick as I go into a left neutral bow, and I'm going to do a left downward block. And I'm going to step through reverse and do a right downward block. And from here, I'm going to take my right leg, step around into a meditating horse stance. And we're done with the left side of this short form one also. Then we're going to close and go to the salutation. Remember, in this form is designed to work the 90-degree angles, and it's also designed for you to be stepping away from the attack. So you didn't see us stepping forward. We're going to drop back and away from the opponent. Now, we're going to take this from top. Come up here, Master. Okay, let's say he's 12 o'clock. Put your right leg back, fighting stance. From here, okay, he's coming with the step-through right punch. That we're stepping back and blocking the punch. Now he's coming with the left punch. We're going to drop back and block the left punch. Now we've got a punch that's coming from the side, from 9 o'clock. We're going to step with the right leg, check the punch with the right hand, follow through with the left. So with that one step, we're doing 2 blocks. Coming a bit faster, we're going 1, 2, inward, outward. Now it's coming with another hooking punch that we're dropping back and doing a right vertical outward block. Okay, now we've got the overhead club attack from behind. So from this position, he's coming with the overhead club attack, and we're going to cover and block. Now, he's coming with another overhead club attack. We're going to step back and do another upward block. Okay? So one more time from here, as I cover, block, then another attack, block. Okay? Now, we're going to go to 6 o'clock. From here, we've got an attack coming from 6 o'clock. As he throws the kick, I'm going to step away and block the kick. One more time. I'm going to step away and block the kick. Now he's coming with another kick, step back, and another downward block. And we're going to step around. Yeah, 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 yeah. And step around. Yeah, 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 and step around. Now we know how we indicate our form. Short form 1, right side and left side. We know how we do the salutation. And we know how we do on both sides of short form 1. One thing, when you practice this form at the beginning, take one direction and set that as your 12 o'clock and start your form, and that's facing that direction. Once you get a little bit comfortable with that, then turn around to different directions. If this is my 12 o'clock, then I want to set that as 12 o'clock and do short form 1. And I want to be facing that way and set that as my 12 o'clock and do this form, and also the other angles. Now, I'm going to go over this whole thing one more time from the top. Here. 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 The set that we're going to be working on next, that's also one of the requirements for yellow belt. It's called the blocking set or star block. Now, we've learned our basic blocks, the upward, inward, extended outward, and downward. Now, we're going to be putting them together, doing it with the right hand and doing it with the left hand, and then we're going to do it with both hands. And I'm going to go over the applications also. Now, when we're doing our sets, it's not, the salutation is not part of it. We just do the salutation at the beginning and at the end of our forms. For sets, we're going to be in an attention stance, and we're going to do a bow, keeping our eyes on our opponent. And then we're going to go to a meditating horse. From the meditating horse, we're going to pull the hands to the side and go to a training horse stance. Now we're going to start star block from this position. Starting with our right hand, we're going to go into an upward block, inward block, extended outward, downward block, pull to the side. It could be a back elbow, and we're doing a heel palm strike to the midsection in front of us, and pull back. Now we're going to do the same routine with the left hand. Left upward, into an inward block, and extended outward, downward, to a left back elbow, and left heel palm strike to the midsection again, and we pull to the side. Now we're going to do this same block, same combination with both hands. We're doing upward blocks, inward blocks, extended outward, downward blocks, pulling to the side, and heel palm strikes, and then pull to the side to a training horse stance. We're going to go back to meditating horse, and we close to a attention stance, and we bow. Here. 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 Yeah. Yeah. The main purpose of doing this block is to get the beginner student to work the combination. Do these blocks one after the other. So if we got different attacks coming, he's doing upward, inward, downward. Now, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Get your hands on your side. Now, if I was to strike him with an overhead, going to an inward and outward and downward, pull to the side and heel palm strike. Now with the other hand, upward, in, extend it out, down, pull back, and heel palm strike. Okay? Now, then you could get the student to do this set without any stopping, without any pause, just a bit faster. Okay? We're going to do this a little bit faster, hoping that it's not going to kill my arm. Let's go. One more time. Good. Okay. So now you see how the application, you could be doing a block inward, outward, downward, and doing a combination of blocks. Now, when we go into doing the same combination with both hands, the first combination when we do double upward block, it's your cross block. When you check in an overhead club attack or any type of overhead attack using both hands as a cross block. Okay. Now, I'd like to show you. Now, you might ask why this hand goes, right goes on top of left, or why left goes on top of right. Okay. Master, grab a weapon, grab a short stick for me, please. Okay. Now, if he was to come with the right overhead club attack. Now, in this case, I'm going to have my right hand go on top of my left hand. And the reason is, if I do my cross block, I could still use only my right hand to stay outside of his attack, and it gives me a free hand to strike with, to use my left hand. Now, if I go left on top of the right, I could still do the same block, okay, but my closer hand to my opponent, which is my left hand, is on top of my right. So I'm kind of like checking myself. And this hand is not going to reach. Unless we try and drop into a forward blow, then the attack on top might collapse on us. Okay? So now in this situation, you see why you have your right hand on top of your left. So you could check outside of it and have a free hand to strike. If he was to attack with the other hand, then we're going to have the left hand on top of the right. So we could still check outside and give us a free hand to strike. Okay? That's how we're using that cross block. When you're practicing your star block, it doesn't matter. You could go right on top or left on top or right. Now, the next move that we do, it's a double inward block. Put the weapon away. You're going to see on some of the techniques later on. Let's say he's coming with a step-through right punch. That we like to do an inward block to block the punch, and at the same time we're going to use another inward block on the other side of the arm, so we have two inward blocks collapsing on outside and inside the punch in this manner. Okay, might catch a nerve here. Okay, so now you see how we're using double inward block, okay, to take care of that attack, to bust the arms from inside and outside. That's why when we do the cross block from here, we go to double inward. So that's one of the applications. Now we're going to an extended outward block. We're doing a double extended outward. Now, for this, let's say if he's shooting a left punch, step through right. And I'm stepping back and doing an extended outward block here. Now, if I had somebody behind me, let's say, just stay right here. As his buddy throw a punch here, and I step back to block. Now, my other hand, it could be like an extended outward, but I'm going to use the hammer fist. So as I block a punch there, I'm going to step back and strike back here. Catching a punch in front and striking back here. this could be also going to the body. So when I step back, strike to the body, it's the same motion as your extended outward block. So again, if he was standing in front of me, let's say he's throwing a punch, it doesn't matter what punch. We step back and block, we could be striking back here, hitting a different opponent behind or to our side. So that's using your double extended outward blocks. Now, for the same reason, we could be using our double downward block. If he's throwing a kick at me and I'm stepping off to block, and at the same time, I got somebody behind me again. So now this, when I'm blocking here, I could be striking here. That's your downward block that's striking to the groin or to the midsection. So again, we're using the double downward. One could be for blocking, which your blocking is one way of striking, and striking with the hammer fist behind you. Okay? Then we're pulling to the side, and we go to the cross heel palm strike. Now, to go over this heel palm strike, let's say I'm going to cross-check him this way. Okay, see, this is like a double heel palm strike that you could check his arm. If it was a overhead club attack, that we checked it, and now we're coming on top of the arm to pin it and cross-check it. Okay, now again, which hand is going to go on top of which hand, it really depends on the situation that you're in and where you like to go from after this move. Also, this cross-check, it could be hitting to the body. How we're striking to the body, and we're going to strike down on diagonal to check his height zone by checking back this way. Okay. Also, we could use this cross blocks, cross heel palms going down as a hooking motion if he was to throw a kick. And instead of blocking, we wanted to hook it. So it's kind of like the same motion that goes into a hooking action, the same heel palm cross that we're doing. All right? Thank you, Master. So you could see that when you're practicing star block, we could take each one of these moves and have a different application for it later on when you're doing your self-defense techniques.